Good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. I can get this together. All right. Good morning and welcome to the MLK Unity Breakfast here at PNW for 2025. We are glad to see you all here this morning, this brisk morning. I know it's cold outside and we want to go ahead and get started. Goodness. And first, I would like to thank all of our sponsors, and I'm going to have Katie Eden come up from NIPSCO to say a few words of welcome, but I would also like to thank the Unity Foundation. I know we have representation. We have Denise Ship-Glenn here. We have Jamie here. We also have Michigan City Chamber, who is here, and we have Kurt back there. We have the LaPorte County CVB, Pat Harris. Okay, there she is, Pat Harris, the Sinai Temple as well. So we want to thank all of our sponsors for this morning's breakfast. And again, I would like to thank NIPSCO for being the presenting sponsor. And I would like to welcome Katie Eden up to say a few words of welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here today. And as we come together to celebrate the life and legacy and enduring impact of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his vision for equality, justice, and compassion remains as relevant today as it was during the Civil Rights Movement. I want to thank Purdue Northwest for continuing to host this incredible event that brings us together to reflect on Dr. King's message and recommit ourselves to the principles he so passionately championed. At NIPSCO, we believe that Dr. King's dream of equity and inclusion is not just a goal for the future, but a responsibility for the present. And that's why we are proud to be a sponsor of this celebration and support initiatives that bring communities together, amplify voices of change, and create opportunities for us all. Dr. King once said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" My hope is that we all leave here today with this message and inspiration to carry forward this mission through action, kindness, and a commitment to justice. Together, we can continue to build the beloved community that he envisioned. And I'm honored to be here amongst so many friends and colleagues, and a place that I called community for a number of years as a student here on this campus, and really look forward to the inspirational words from not just Mayor Angie, who I'm sure will inspire us with some words, but also our keynote later this morning, Chief Marty Corley. Thank you again for the opportunity to be part of this meaningful event. We are proud to stand with you in honoring Dr. King's legacy today and every day. Thank you.
So again, good morning. It's my honor to welcome you again, and I am so honored to be the MC for today as we show our commitment to justice and progress, and not only just in Michigan City, but LaPorte County and also the region. So right now, if I could have all the elected officials stand so that I don't miss anyone, I would like to thank our Representative Pat Boyd, our former council president and long-term council member Don Privilinski, and our council president Tracy Tillman for the 5th Ward of Michigan City for being here this morning. So good morning, thank them. Before we pray over our breakfast, I would like to welcome our chancellor for our campus up to the stage to say a few words of welcome. Let's see here. Is he not in? Okay, I missed that. Okay, we're gonna do the E. All right, I'm sorry. I messed that up and I have it right here in my notes. So I would like to call up to the stage our Pastor Apostle Javon Blakely to say a few words of prayer over our breakfast so that we could dismiss to eat, and then we'll get started with our program.
Come on, just bow your heads. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this day. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. God, we thank you for everyone that have come from far and near to be here for this occasion. Now, God, we pray that you bless the food. We thank you for those that have prepared it, that it be nourishing to the body, the soul, and spirit. Bless this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Let all God's people say amen.
Amen.
On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration at Purdue Northwest, I'm really honored to be able to welcome you as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As we gather today, I think it's important that our university, as well as our state and nation, reflect on the teaching and dream of Dr. King. His teachings are timeless and continue to provide many lessons that can benefit us all. While Dr. King was a student in Morehouse College, he gave a speech entitled "The Purpose of Education." He stated that, quote, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of education." At Purdue Northwest, we constantly strive to empower all of our students, regardless of their background, to embrace that power of attaining a college degree. Our campuses value each person and respect the opportunities that our various backgrounds provide. As many of you might be aware, Purdue Northwest remains one of the most diverse campuses in the state of Indiana. I am proud that we are designated by the U.S. Department of Education as a Hispanic-serving institution. The PNW Honors College, comprised of many of the best and brightest future leaders, is the most diverse in the state and possibly in the Midwest, with more than 50% of the students identifying as being from an underrepresented group. Our faculty remain committed to focusing on contemporary issues and are taking action to better address issues that are fundamentally important to the communities in which we reside. Purdue Northwest continues to be committed to providing a high-quality education that is accessible for all of our students. PNW students are amongst the hardest working in the nation, and we provide them with a platform to think intensively, think critically, and build upon their character. I'm proud to have the opportunity to work with many amazing individuals at this institution, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to welcome you to this long-standing campus and community event. Thank you.
Okay, good morning again. So I wanted to introduce this segment of our morning together called our Community Conversations. We started Community Conversations about 3 years ago as a part of our MLK celebrations as an opportunity to engage other folks in some more taboo conversations that we don't usually have. We have a lot of discourse usually online, but not having conversations in person, which is important. So we wanted to initiate that with you all this morning. So on each of your tables, you should have like a half sheet of a series of questions. Don't feel obligated to go in order. This is not school. We are off from school today. So you don't have to go in any type of order. But if there is a specific question that kind of speaks to you, I want to encourage you to engage in the conversation with the folks at your table about those questions. The idea is for us, again, to have some conversations that are a little bit deeper than some of the surface level things that we tend to talk about, and including a lot of things from Dr. King's vision and understanding how we play a part in that as well. There is an I in community, so we have to be very cognizant of how we play a role in making sure that our community is the way that we want it to be. If it's not us, then who? So we want you all to engage in these conversations today. And even if you are talking through these questions and you hear someone at another table starting on another question that you might be involved in or wanting to get involved in, feel free to jump over and have that conversation as well. But we just want to engage you all in that this morning. We will be doing some share outs at the end of our time during community conversations. So we will be walking around with the mic and asking for you all to share what some of of the conversations you all were having give us a little bit of some tidbits about the things that you talked about this morning. So I don't want to surprise you later when we're walking around with mics. But we hope that you find this time enriching and valuable to be able to focus on Dr. King's vision of building a stronger community. So let's get talking. Okay, I hope you all had some riveting conversations. I was eavesdropping just a little bit and heard some people having some good conversations. So would anyone like to share what they discussed with their table with the rest of the room? We've got Darian over here with the mic, so we will bring that to you to share. Don't all jump up at once.
Thank you, Katie, for volunteering. I appreciate you. All right.
You can do whatever your heart desires.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith. I work in the mayor's office in Michigan City.
They want you to stand up.
Oh, I am standing up. Okay. Hi. Good morning. We really only addressed 2 questions on our list, but found that kind of the basis of our conversation applied to both. And so I imagine probably to several others on the list. I think some of you may have different questions than us, maybe had some similar conversations. We were talking about the value of, initially the conversation started about our police department in Michigan City and their interaction with our community, their engagement, and how that's been beneficial to all of us who live there, visit there, all of that. Then we talked about our school system and how we bring counselors into classrooms to help the kids with like social emotional learning. So just from my perspective, kind of tying it all together, it's beneficial for us to know ourselves in order to be able to value ourselves, what we are able to contribute to our communities, and then also to interact with people who have a different experience with the world. One of the questions on our list was, what role does a college education play in advancing Dr. King's vision of equality and justice? Oh, I'm shaking. And how can our campus contribute to that mission? We didn't really get into PNW just yet. I talked to the group about my personal college experience. I graduated from an HBCU. I had a very valuable experience there. I took math and I took English and I took, social studies, the same classes as anyone would take at any school. But I feel like the most valuable experience there I got was in interacting with people who saw the world and experienced the world differently from me. And when you know yourself and can value. Oh, an HBCU is a historically black college or university. So I know that that's not the typical college experience, but it is so valuable. But it helped me to understand myself better, how I see and interact with the world, what my blind spots are, what I have to contribute, and how to engage with, respect people who have different experiences than me. Jenny Lee was talking about some school stuff. Did you have anything you wanted to add? I'm good. Anybody else from our table?
We're good. Covered it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Katie. Thank you so much.
Anyone else want to share? I think I saw a hand up over here
one
at some
over here.
point.
So I'm gonna get my steps in today, walking around. Here we are.
Good morning, everyone. I'm being voluntold to to speak for the table, but so help me and correct me and add where I'm getting it right. So Tom Horvath, I'm a guest in the community. I'm living in California, but I grew up in this area, so it's great to be back and see this sort of community again coming together. Used to live in Michigan City for a few years back in the late 90s. So great to be back and see this happening here. But we focus a little bit on the faith community and the role that the faith community, that the lessons that we could learn from that Reverend Dr. King brought to us, and try to use those community groups for action where possible. How to engage those communities, especially from the higher education aspect of things, providing the knowledge for the next generation to see their path forward, and really just try to do the community good in that sense. So.
Yeah, we wanted to concentrate on. We really wanted to concentrate on how do we use. We really wanted to concentrate on how do we use Dr. King's leadership style to move our communities forward. So we looked at the aspect of him being a Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, not just Dr. Martin Luther King, and how the leadership role being in the faith-based community allowed him to connect with a lot of people. And so that's what we're doing in this community right now. We do have an African American coalition of leaders that are doing that. And in this coalition, we have 6 pastors involved, because that's the way we're going to get the word out and get the messages across to people. So that's just kind of a reinforcement.
Thank you.
Come get this thing from me, I'll talk forever.
Thank you. I love your shirts. They're so
Thank
cute.
you. Good morning, everyone. When we were talking about the community of Dr. Martin Luther King, I thought about our children. Because what we do with our children today, we are investing for our future. And I was so happy to see the children over there. So if we teaching them the love and the kindness and different things of core value, it's going to go over into the future. And if you can think about 20 or 30 years from now, if you add that to your age, if you're not investing in the children how you want them to be, they may be your caregiver. They may not be kind. So if we invest and put those values in them, teaching them how to be kind, just like Martin Luther King, children holding hands and being kind, it starts now. It starts now. And I remember where I was taught how to be kind. Just think if I wasn't kind, if I didn't smile. It starts when they're little. So when I talk about community, I'm thinking of our children, because that's our future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else feel called to share?
Okay, you done spoke up the youth, spoke up the children. I love it. Love to see it. All right. Let's go.
So we had talked about how can we encourage meaningful dialogue about justice and equality within our campus and border community. I had said for campus, which is like school and stuff, I had said maybe we can like be like more engaged in it and like talk about it more instead of after you say something about it, instead of people saying, oh, okay, like everybody just talks about it and like get deeper until like, you know, whatever you guys are talking about. And that's it.
All right, thank you. You want to get those deeper conversations, right? Okay, we're speaking up more youth. I love it.
Thank you.
There we go.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emilio Munoz. I'm a senior in high school. And the question that kind of caught our attention the most was the last question, talking about King's words of fierce urgency of now. And when speaking of that, talking about our nation as a whole, kind of something that comes in mind, for me at least, is our problem of immigration in our current nation, because I believe that our nation was founded on the idea of opportunity. You know, when Christopher Columbus came here and sailed, you know, those great blue seas, he came on the idea of opportunity and a new life and a better life. So I think it's very important that we give everyone the same opportunity of a better life, but also keeping it to where the people who are currently here, where it's still safe and our job market is still good and our housing crisis, that we can be able to support everybody for a new life. So, and as a Hispanic myself, I think it's very important for my community to serve as a leader in my community to show others that there is a better life, and just, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Then a couple more.
Okay.
One over, you walking right past
Oh, I
them.
just walked right past.
Then
All right,
come right
here we
back
go.
over here. I'll just
Thank you.
take the mic down.
Okay, thanks. Well, good morning. Hello, everyone. We didn't really get a lot of time to discuss our question, but we did discuss it. And we picked the fourth question about justice and equity and how we may suggest points that the university campus can use and then get that off to the community. And so one of the persons in our group is a pastor here, and he suggested to us or told us about his experiences where families come in to him for counseling, and what he's found out or what he's determined that so many young people, so many children have difficulties at home. And that is what really needs to be addressed first, so that the teachers understand that, so that the police department understands that, so that other church members understand that. So we were just getting ready to discuss further how we could suggest that that could be done, and we ran out of time. But what I wanted to say is, and I'm sorry I did not catch her name, but the young lady in the red jacket over there who spoke first, I believe. I think I heard you say that you attended an HBCU, and that's very unusual. And I'm just looking at you and determining that's unusual. I also attended an HBCU. And I think that maybe that is the first step, almost an immersion in other ethnic experiences, for lack of a better word. HBCUs are wonderful. However, generally, who experiences an HBCU are African Americans, Black individuals. So maybe that's it. If we get in at the ground level, college not necessarily the ground level, but if we take that same thought and share experiences with each other that we may not have another opportunity to do, that may be a start. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Vidya Kora. I serve on the City Council. And at this table, we discuss the importance of community. And so we discussed about what we all can do to build our community, because that's what connects all of us together. If there is one thing over the last few weeks, when I saw the fires ravaging in Los Angeles, one thing which was very obvious is no matter who we are, what political perspective we have, we are all in this together. And we need to understand that, we need to connect with that. And as you just said, sorry I didn't get your name, but working with our kids, teaching kindness and compassion and empathy, because I come from healthcare. I mean, those are the core values, and it is so important. And the last thing I wanted to mention was about the importance of participation. And Mayor Angie is going to take some of these forms to various community events today. There are various boards and commissions that everybody can participate in. Please participate, because participation is power. Power is not about holding a title or a position, it's about participation. You know, Dr. King really didn't hold, he didn't have any title or power or a position, or he was just a humanitarian. He brought people together. He was a faith leader, and he just wielded this power, and he continues to wield this power because of who he was as a human being, as a person, and the values that he taught everybody around us. So thank you very much.
Morning, everyone. My name is Don Perbolinski. I'm also on the City Council. Well, one thing I've always remembered, and as the doctor alluded to, as far as the community and the community being involved, but to me, community starts at home. And I remember growing up, my father, mother always told us, be fair to everyone. If it doesn't start at home, it'll never get out to the community. So when you're sitting around a table talking to your children or siblings or what have you, it's always important to be positive and to talk about other people, other races, other nations in a positive form, and try to be uplifting rather than being negative towards people. Because, like I said again, it all starts at the dinner table. From there, it builds out into the community. Thank you.
Got one more.
Good morning. I am Belle Lee. And one of the questions, so we got in late, of course, but we don't tell that story. So I appreciate this community. So I was born and reared here in Michigan City, and I've had some wonderful and amazing experiences here, and I've had some tragic and disastrous ones too. But that is really how community is. We cannot pretend that you don't see it when it happens. And I think that sometimes we are surprised when people tell us their experiences. Because they're not our own, we often can't see their point of view. We can't. But if we can have compassion and humanitarianism, and that's something I learned in my home, and that's my brother. Right? And so I'm grateful for the village that has poured into me and to so many. I call my brother the village chief, right? Because he does so much. And he's not doing it for your recognition. He doesn't need your cheers and applause. He needs you to be in the trenches with him. We have a great foundation in this city, and I'm grateful for it. And to jump back to PNC, I remember, because that's what I'm always going to call it. I'm always going to call it that. So there were summer programs here that were science and math that came and brought people from our communities out here so we could learn and have some education. It was always founded in learning more and doing better. And I am grateful that we had that chance to do that here in this city. And I'm grateful now for our mayor's leadership too. I am looking forward to everything that she's doing. We're on the move here. And so those are the unity in our community that we need to continue to celebrate.
Thank you all so much. As we're in the process of course, changing administrations, our Surgeon General's last prescription to us was community. And that's a big deal to understand that we have to look out for each other. We're all we got. And that's a huge thing that Dr. King was doing. He wasn't just marching for Black people, he was marching for human rights. He was speaking out about injustice for all people, for people of the working class, for a lot of who our parents are, our grandparents are, that came up here through the Great Migration to be able to service this community. So thinking about that always, just never forget, and even if you didn't get to finish your conversation, this doesn't stop here. This is a continuum. This is just us getting the ball rolling on these conversations so that we can continue to treat each other better and understand where we thrive in our community. So thank you so much for engaging in that with us this morning.
Thank you. All right, so great conversation. And again, I do want to acknowledge some more people that have come into the room. I know that we have some members of NAACP. I see Councilman Greg Coulter, Councilman Vidya Cora, Chris Pate from the United Way, just to name a few. Pastor, there he is, Pastor Lane, just to name a few. So again, thank you for the wonderful conversation. We'll be continuing the celebration this afternoon at the Hope program starting at 11:30. There's going to be a brunch there, so more to come. So come on out if you want to have some more conversations, and I want to make sure that we acknowledge that as well. So one of the things that I truly believe, and I am a product of an HBCU, the best HBCU, Florida A&M University. I can say that because we're ranked #1. But again, my experience was so different. Coming from Michigan City, my family moved to Florida in the middle of my senior year in high school. So I went from a school that was diverse, but not as diverse, to a school that was 33% Hispanic, 33% Black, 33% white in Orlando, Florida. And then going to a college that was a HBCU, and I had never stepped foot on a campus before. So perspective was totally different. Then, while at school, attending the engineering program that was joint with Florida State and Florida A&M on a separate campus from Florida A&M. So I had like 3 different experiences in one. But what I will say is that you realize that just because you're of one race, the diversity is so crazy and different. And so when people think about diversity, which is the naughty word all of a sudden, I don't see it about race. It's really socioeconomic, age, if you're a military veteran or not, if you come from if you're a foster child, if you're raised by your grandparents. Those are all the things that make us different. And I just want people to realize that's really what diversity is. My mom graduated from Purdue North Central at 60 years old, okay? Having a 60-year-old on a campus, that's diversity. I mean, you know, and I want people to understand that education is the great neutralizer to get you to the next thing. And education doesn't just mean college education, right? It means a lot of different things. So I just want us to keep that in mind. We're going to pivot here, and we're going to talk about these great leaders in our high schools. We have 2 recipients of awards today for their essays that I'm going to call up to the stage to read their essays. First, let me, I would like to call Kiela Sutton, and she is a senior. Am I getting that right? Come on up, Kiela. I want to make sure I say that right. A senior at Westside Leadership Academy. She's going to come up first and read her essay, and then we've heard from Emilio Munoz, and I know how to say that right, but Emilio, who's going to come up afterwards, and he's a senior at Michigan City High School. So welcome them to the stage. Come on up, and we'll have them read their essays.
Hi, my name is Kiela Sutton, and the name of my essay is Find Peace in What You Do for Others. Since childhood, I have always prioritized the well-being of others, whether it's my family, friends, or complete strangers. This sense of responsibility resonates with me deeply, especially when I reflect on the life and work of Martin Luther King Jr. He lives with a profound commitment to advocating for the oppressed, never putting his safety or prosperity first. His rally speeches and efforts were all for the greater good of his people, ensuring that future generations could live in a society defined by equality, love, and security. I've always strived to live by this same principle, to lift others up, to advocate for justice, and to ensure that those who are voiceless find their platform. One of Dr. King's most powerful quotes that resonate with me most is, "Our lives begin to end the day that we become silent about things that matter." I believe that it is vital to speak out for what you believe in, even if it means facing criticism or opposition. I try to live with this truth every day, whether it's by standing up for equality, supporting social justice causes, or helping others find their voice in need. My faith is at core of this commitment. It serves as the foundation for everything I do. About 3 years ago, I organized a volunteer program at my church aimed to serving those in need. What was meant to be a temporary initiative has since become an ongoing part of our church's outreach efforts. We gather to feed the homeless and distribute essential supplies to individuals experiencing hardships downtown. This program not only supports those in need, but also strengthens the bonds within our church community, reinforcing our shared mission of service and compassion. I wholeheartedly believe that everyone deserves an equal chance and opportunity to succeed. However, through conversations with several homeless individuals, I realized that not everyone has that same opportunity. One of the most prominent issues they spoke about was the difficulty they have facing finding employment due to factors such as race, ethnicity, or physical appearance. Hearing these stories was a stark reminder of the systemic inequalities that exist in our society. As a child, I have always aspired to become the President of the United States, and listening to these individuals only strengthened that passion. Their stories of struggle and resilience have fueled my desire to create change and ensure that everyone, regardless of their background, has a fair shot at success. Although it's vital to prioritize other well-being, it is also important to prioritize your own. Before I realized this, there will be times where I will go above and beyond for others and end up putting myself at fault. This will leave me in a vulnerable mental state, and at worst, leave me questioning my basic morals. I quickly had to learn a balance, knowing that I can healthily care for others and assure my well-being simultaneously. In my education and career path, I plan to become a psychiatrist and continue to care for others as long as I possibly can. Mental health is a prominent issue in our society, and by using specific and less critical procedures to treat mental health defects, I know that I can improve our societal standing slowly but surely. By following Dr. King's examples and letting my faith guide my actions, I strive every day to create a more just and compassionate world. Whether it's through advocating for social change or volunteering to directly help those in need and treating certain mental health issues, I am committed to using my voice and actions to make a difference. It is important that you find peace in what you do for others, rather than primarily focusing on what you do for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So, I don't know if that touched you, but let me say this for those of you in leadership. She said something very profound. Didn't she say, in helping others, you got to take care of yourself? That's right. A lot of times we don't do that. We jump out there off the ledge and we fall face forward, and then we sit back and agonize on what we didn't do right or what we could have done correctly. And from a young person, right? This is a young adult, a young leader, and she's already recognized the fact that we need to follow those same instructions, right? So I hope you all heard that. All right, Emilio, come on up.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, I don't think it's okay. Good morning. Is that better? Again, I'm Emilio Munoz. I'm currently a senior at Michigan City High School, and this is my Martin Luther King essay. I am living proof of Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. King strongly believed in the power of people. He lived by the premise that with its members working together, a community could lead to change. King preached through its unity, we could attain a more inclusive society. When I look back at my life so far, in my 18 years young, I take notice of the remarkable people I've been blessed with in my life. Some paved the way for me to see my future, like my brothers, cousins, and even my good friends. Meanwhile, others helped me find my way through trials and tribulations. My teachers, neighbors, and grandparents mentored me through difficult decisions and situations. Of course, the whole time there were my parents, godparents, and members of my church who have served as my anchors and keep me grounded and solid in my beliefs. Any way you look at it, all of these people have given me the power to pursue my dreams and have gotten me to where I am today. Working together, my community has helped me see what I'm capable of accomplishing. In turn, I have strived to be a leader in my community. King's words, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love, have inspired me to give back to others. However, there are so many ways one can be a leader. I believe that a leader has to be intentional in making sure that they are serving everyone involved. I think of what experience I have had thus far that have led me to be this type of leader. I firmly believe by attaining an education, socioeconomic levels can become more equitable. I tutor both students at my former elementary school and peers at my high school. Helping others find academic success ensures that I'm an active part in closing the learning gaps of youth in our community. Through this work, students are one step closer to achieving their goals. This will raise up future leaders in our community. In addition, I have served as co-captain on our soccer team. This has allowed me to develop and use leadership skills to help bring our team together towards a common goal. I've been able to work with my teammates in developing skills and strategies needed to win on the field. I've also been able to coach our team through some tough losses and while being humble during our wins. Becoming class president and working in student government through student council and steering committee has taught me about listening to voices of others and represent the diverse needs and wants of my peers. In addition to student government roles, I've also served as a minority coalition liaison between students and Valpo University. I was able to be a member of the panel discussing the needs of students. I served on the Strategic Plan Committee for Michigan City area schools. In both of these activities, I was the voice of not just the minority of students, but students of all races and ethnicities. Being active in these roles, I was able to advocate for my peers and community. My ultimate goal is to create an environment in which all those surrounding me feel heard, valued, and welcome. Looking ahead, I recognize that achieving the rest of my goals in life will require continuous learning, dedication, and perseverance. I know that I will be successful by living Dr. King's motto: if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then crawl. No, if you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. He said, if I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. Thank you.
All right. So stay here. So let me say, last time I saw he's not a kid anymore. He was shorter than me. Let me say that. I've seen, kids go through Michigan City area high school and embrace it. And he and his brother, I know his brother. And I just want to say I am so proud of who you've become. And I had no doubt. I grew up with his mom. So when you watch children go through the school system and you see them thrive and be successful is so important. And I think too, to you young people that are sitting here at these tables, make sure that you get involved at your schools. Make sure you step up. You don't have to be, we talk about introverts and extroverts. I have two daughters that are opposites, but they both still did the same exact thing. They led, they participated. One was quiet, one wasn't. It didn't matter. To lead, you don't have to be loud. You don't have to be loud to be a leader. You just have to be present and active. Keep your grades up, all those good things, because these two fine students are going to get $500 for their essays. And if I could call Chief Corley and Darian up to the stage, I would like to present them with a certificate. $500 is no chump change. That'll buy a few books. Few books. If you guys could. I'm gonna squeeze it. All right. Well, thank them again. Give them another round of applause. So at this time, I would like members of the committee to stand that were members of the MLK celebration to stand, and also give Darian is the staff member who was pushing everybody. I showed up at the last meeting, so but thank them for all participating on making sure today that everything was set for everyone. I don't know who brought the 0-degree weather, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But to move on to the next part of the program, I would like to, we have this joke, my brother here. I would like to introduce my brother as a keynote speaker. Marty has been, I go back to, I knew Marty as a little kid, didn't know him, but I knew him from church and seeing him come to church. And then we've been friends now for about 20 years. I've been back 23 years. I knew who he was. He was on the police force when I moved back. But I did see some things in Marty that I believed that he would be a great leader in the community. And so back in 2012 or 2013, I sponsored him to go to Leadership LaPorte County while I was at NIPSCO. And continued to sponsor people within the community to go through that program. Because I wanted to make sure that we had representation for the city. And I kind of had a way to do that, which was great, through NIPSCO as a community leader. So I thought it was important that we started embracing some of our leaders in Michigan City to be a part of that program. So I started sponsoring people 2 to 3 every single year while I was in that position at NIPSCO. And I told him, first thing I told him, and I need to tell him, I told Charlie Roberts the same thing. Don't jump out there on every board, right? And I'm going to tell you, as you all start embracing these boards, I said, because you want to be present and effective. The number of boards is not important. It's how you perform on those boards. And Marty is like an Energizer bunny when it comes to the community. I thought I was busy, and he says the same thing about me. So I try to lead by example, but it's one of those things that he embraced it. He took hold of it. It's never about the accolades. We do things and we show up. We show up for a reason, and Marty is that person. Marty is my police chief, and I am so honored that that he took the position. But the number one thing is, I'm honored that he stepped into his leadership. I've watched him grow over these years, and he never stopped. You know, he's not a person that backs down from a situation. It's not only with his time, it's with his money, his time, his children, his family. That's what we do, and that's what I love about even our council members and our representative, you know, and our assistant police chiefs and our people within the city on the school board. They give up their time and their talent, and they show up and they're present. So it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Marty M. Corley, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Amelia, I see what you was dealing with now, man. Let's see if we can adjust this a little. Nope, that's not what I want to do. We'll make it higher so when it goes down. Can you all hear me? Yeah, so good morning. Thank you to the mayor for that awesome introduction. And thank you to the mayor for embracing me over these years and allowing me to be in this position. I think it's important that we understand the vision and the forward thinking of our mayor for this city. Again, as Mayor Angie has talked about myself, I have also seen her, you know, continue to do things, and not just do things, but be strategic about it and make sure that things are in order for us to reap the benefits. So thank you, Mayor, for your forward vision and your thinking. So thank you. Good morning, family. And I say that, the mayor already alluded to it, but I always say in Michigan City, you're either related by blood, marriage, or you play cousins or something. So we all family here some way or another. And it's great. You know, when they told me I was going to be the keynote speaker, I had to make sure they were talking about that I was going to be doing this speech. I thought I was going to maybe be emceeing. So then you think about what you're going to say, and, you know, you think about being nervous. But then when I see everybody's out there, it's like it's either people I've worked with or know. So it makes it a little bit more comfortable. So thank you all for coming out today to celebrate Martin Luther King holiday. I'd like to thank my mom, Cora Cambridge, for giving me life and supporting me through all the life that's thrown to me. So, Mom, would you wave your hand? And you guys, you all already saw one of my many siblings who gave me many praises. So thank you, Belinda, for being here too also, and Miles. As I think back to the many years I have on the police department, 25 this year, which I remember when I first took the test and got hired, I thought, you know, I'll be here for maybe 5 years. And, you know, really I wanted to go to Indianapolis because that's the big city. But as you can see, I'm still here for these 5 years. I've had the opportunity to serve under many good chiefs. But in my present role, I have opportunity to serve with a great team. So if Chief of Operations Steve Forker and Chief of Services Dave Cooney could please stand and be recognized. You know, as the chief or leader in your organization, sometimes you get a lot of credit for things that happen, but for all the good things that have been happening in the Michigan City Police Department, it wouldn't have happened without these two guys by my side. I had the pleasure of working with this team when Chief Forker was named chief about 1.5 years ago, and when I had the opportunity to be chief, I didn't want to break up the band. I mean, I didn't. I mean, you know, the work was being done, and we'll continue to do work in the community. So I thank you to those guys for having my back and supporting me and making sure our community is protected, served the best possible. I did take after some things after Chief Cooney. Usually I come to these functions and I just flow. I actually wrote my stuff down. Other than that, I mean, I know we got a little more time. I got 45 minutes, but you know, I'll make sure we don't stay that long. So let's get to this keynote address. We have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. See, this quote encapsulates the importance of unity in the community. And as you look at the title, unity is highlighted in the community. And I think it's important as we talk about community, we make sure we talk about doing things together, collaborating, and learning about each other. So today I'm going to talk about how building relationships, speaking across differences, and adaptability contributes to a unified community. Point 1, building relationships. See, strong relationships form the foundation for trust, collaboration, and a shared sense of purpose, which are essential for unity in the community. Here's why relationships matter and how they contribute to unification. They build trust. See, trust is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship and is vital for uniting a community. When people feel connected through genuine, positive relationships, they are more likely to trust one another and work together. Gives transparent communication, consistency, and empathy in relationships foster trust over time. Encourages collaboration. Relationships create opportunities for collaboration by breaking down barriers and facilitating open dialogue. When individuals and groups know each other personally, they are more inclined to share resources, ideals, and efforts to achieve common goals. That is one thing that I preach a lot of time with the police department. As we go out and do our work, I've been a police officer 25 years, and I've been in the chief's office a couple of times myself. But just knowing that sometimes we get into situations that we have to react fast, and then sometimes people have to get to break it down. But I think the relationships that we have with community makes the community understand that they'll let the process be and look at everything instead of jumping to conclusions early. And I think those relationships are important. Also fosters understanding and empathy. Personal relationships allow individuals to better understand diverse perspectives, backgrounds, and experiences. This reduces prejudice and creates a more inclusive environment where everyone feels valued and heard. Enhances communication. Effective communication is easier when relationships are established. People are more likely to listen, engage, and respond positively to those they know and respect. It creates a shared vision. Relationships help align individuals around shared values and goals. Through collaboration and mutual respect, communities can identify and pursue a common vision for the future. Resolves conflicts. Healthy relationships provide a foundation for addressing conflicts constructively. When there's mutual respect and understanding, it becomes easier to mediate disagreements and find solutions that work for everyone. Inspires collective action. Strong relationships inspire people to take collective action. When individuals feel a personal connection to others in the community, they are more motivated to contribute their time, skills, and energy. See, when building relationships, there has to be a community engagement, which involves actively involving community members in decision-making, activities, and initiatives. It ensures that everyone feels included, valued, and heard. These principles are key to community engagement. Inclusivity. We must ensure all voices are represented, particularly those of marginalized or underrepresented groups. Transparency. This involves clearly communicating goals, processes, and outcomes to build trust. Empowerment. Encouraging individuals to take ownership of community issues and solutions, and collaboration. Working together to achieve shared goals. When building relationships, we must form safe places. Safe places are environments where individuals feel respected, valued, and free from judgment, discrimination, or harm. Safe places are important because of the following. They encourage vulnerability, allows us to get out of our comfort zone, allows us to get off that skin and know that we are protected when we share our experiences. Promotes inclusion. Safe spaces ensure that everyone, regardless of background or identity, feels welcome. And it supports healing. They provide an environment for addressing past harms and building understanding. Let's look further on how safe spaces build relationships. They foster empathy. Open, respectful dialogue helps individuals understand different perspectives. They reduce barriers. They encourage people to move beyond biases and build meaningful connections. Enhance trust. Consistently providing safety reinforces trust over time. As we talk about building relationships, by show of hands, is there anyone here in this room that I do not have a relationship with? Please raise your hand if there is. All right, so I'm gonna leave some cards. You're gonna touch me. We're gonna do some work. I'm gonna gather y'all network and y'all money, all right? And we're gonna get to work. So we're gonna build a relationship. Key point 2, speaking across differences. R.G. Lord said it best. It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. I understand that this can be a thorny subject, but it's essential for community building. Dr. King's work was deeply rooted in faith and moral conviction, and speaking across differences is a key to community progress. Embracing diversity is a must. Diverse perspectives bring great value to a community by fostering creativity, promoting innovation, and strengthening social cohesion. They enable communities to draw from a broad spectrum of experience, knowledge, and ideals, leading to richer, more inclusive solutions and a deeper sense of connection. Here's how diverse perspectives enrich a community. Gives broader ideals. Diversity brings together different ways of thinking, leading to a wider range of ideals and approaches to solving problems. Combines strengths. Individuals with varying backgrounds contribute unique skills and knowledge, enabling the community to address challenges creatively and effectively. Challenging assumptions. Exposure to different perspectives helps question biases and assumptions, fostering innovative solutions. Comprehensive analysis. Diverse viewpoints allow for a more thorough examination of issues, considering multiple angles and potential impacts. Adaptive solutions. A mix of perspectives equips communities to design solutions that address the needs of all members, not just a select few. Resilience. Communities that embrace diversity are better prepared to navigate complex challenges as they can draw on a variety of experiences and strategies. Reducing prejudice. Interaction with diverse perspectives helps break down stereotypes and fosters mutual respect. Cultivating empathy. Hearing other stories and experiences promotes a deeper understanding of different backgrounds, struggles, and aspirations. Strengthening bonds. Embracing diversity creates a sense of belonging and unity as people feel valued and included. Representation matters. Diverse perspectives ensure that the voices of all community members are heard, leading to more equitable decision-making. Fostering participation. When people see their experiences reflected in the community's actions and policies, they are more likely to engage and contribute. Celebrating heritage. Diverse cultural traditions, languages, and customs bring vibrancy and richness to the community. Expanding horizons. Exposure to new ideals, cuisines, art, and practices broadens individuals' perspectives and enhances their lives. And creating cohesion. Shared appreciation for diversity strengthens the collective identity of a community. Conflict resolution must be a focus. Addressing disagreements respectively and finding common ground is essential for fostering unity in a community. Unity does not require complete agreement on all issues, but rather a shared commitment to mutual respect, understanding, and collaboration. We must acknowledge these strategies as we navigate disagreements constructively while emphasizing shared goals. We must acknowledge our differences. We must recognize that diverse opinions and perspectives are natural and valuable in a thriving community. We must practice civility, encourage the use of respectful language, tone, and nonverbal cues during discussions. We must separate people from problems, focus on the issue at hand rather than making disagreements personal or attacking individuals. I always say that we should never make our business personal. Identify common interests, highlight goals or values that everyone can agree on, such as community safety, education, or well-being. Frame disagreements constructively. We must emphasize that differing opinions can lead to better solutions by considering multiple perspectives. We must reinforce collective identity, remind everyone that they are part of the same community working toward a better future for all. Active listening must be involved when speaking across differences. This means listening to understand rather than to respond. This type of active listening is vital to meaningful dialogue and essential for building trust, fostering empathy, and uniting a community. When community members prioritize understanding over rebuttal, they create space for genuine connection and collective progress. Here's why it matters. It fosters empathy. Truly listening always allows us to step into someone else's shoes and see the world from the perspective, reducing misunderstandings and building compassion. See, this is my team right here. Look at this.
Like you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Forker. Strengthens relationships. When people feel heard and understood, they are more likely to trust and engage with others. Promotes inclusivity. Active listening ensures that all voices, particularly those from marginalized groups, are valued and respected. Encourages constructive dialogue. Understanding someone's viewpoint fully can reveal common ground and lead to more effective solutions. Ooh, lost my point. Where we at? Okay. There you go. And we often get out there and we have different, ways to facilitate that. But I think it's important that we understand the diversity of our community and the people that we work with as we continue to unify our community. Key point 3, adaptability. We must be fluid. Our adaptability has to embrace change. Being open to change and adapting to new circumstances is essential for the growth, resilience, and unity of any community, especially a diverse one. Here's why this matters. Embraces innovation, allows for new ideals and approaches that often emerge from change, leading to more effective solutions to community challenges. Addresses emerging needs. Communities must adapt to shifting demographics, economic realities, or environmental conditions to remain vibrant and relevant. Opportunities for learning. Change fosters learning by encouraging individuals and groups to explore unfamiliar perspectives or skills. Celebrates differences. In diverse communities, openness to change creates space for everyone to contribute, ensuring that all voices are heard and valued. Bridges cultural gaps. Adapting traditions or practices to include various cultural perspectives fosters a sense of belonging and unity. Overcomes challenges. Adaptable communities can pivot in response to crises such as economic downturns, natural disasters, or social unrest. Sustains unity. A willingness to evolve helps communities maintain harmony by addressing conflicts and meeting change expectations. Fosters intervention. Communities that embrace change are better equipped to navigate technological advancements or social shifts. Expands perspectives. Openness to change helps individuals understand and appreciate viewpoints different from their own. Encourages empathy. Experienced change can make people more empathetic to the struggle and adjustments others face. Building confidence. Successfully adapting to change builds confidence in the community's ability to tackle future challenges. The approaches we take must be flexible. Remaining flexible in approaches to engagement and problem solving is vital for fostering creativity, inclusivity, and effectiveness. Different challenges and opportunities often call for varied strategies, especially in diverse communities where needs and perspectives differ. This means the following: adapting to unique solutions. No two challenges are identical, and a one-size-fits-all approach may not work in all contexts. Flexibility allows for tailored solutions that address specific circumstances. Fostering inclusivity. Flexible methods ensure that diverse voices are heard and that everyone can contribute in ways that align with their strengths and needs. Encouraging innovation. Openness to trying new methods or ideas often leads to creative and effective solutions that wouldn't emerge from rigid approaches. Enhancing resilience. Flexibility helps communities respond effectively to unexpected changes or crises, maintaining momentum even in challenging times. Adaptability means we have to make sure that who we are seen as on the outside does not overtake who we are on the inside. I often use a hashtag when posting. It's called hashtag more than the police. Sometimes I have to be that police officer that might have to take someone to jail, or that social worker that might provide resources for those in need, or that dad that teaches their kid how to drive. That could be dangerous at times. I have to be able to adapt to the needs of my community. as I wrap up, I want to talk about two people who were kind of important to me. Well, not kind of, but were important to me when I first moved back to Michigan City. I was a young dad, and so my mom supported me through college. I got home, and when I got home, I wanted to be the state police. As you can see, that didn't work out, but and there was a testing process, and I didn't get it, and so I went on. I went to St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer that is now closed. But there's alumni there, Tom Stefaniak. He was a judge in Hammond City Court. So at St. Joe's, I had the opportunity to work in the probation department, but I also had another opportunity. I actually ran a Boys and Girls Club in Rensselaer. That was interesting. You talking about Kelly, talking about going to HBCU, it's like reverse. I was the only black face, well, me and a couple other students that, those kids had seen. So I think it was important, but that was a learning experience for me because, the only thing that they had saw was, they thought I could rap. And I'm like, I don't rap. I'm just telling you that I don't do that. But that was a learning experience for me. So Judge Stefaniak hired me, and I went on to work at the Hammond City Courts, and I got a little taste of, anybody here from Lake County? I got a little taste of Lake County politics. And as you can see, I eventually made it back home. But when I got back home from my experiences at college and throughout life, I wanted to get involved. And as Mayor Angie alluded to, telling me not to get in on every board, well, I kind of disregarded that a little bit because I just felt, I wanted to help and get involved. But when I first got back, there was two people who I got connected with. Now, Mr. Mike McDonald, who I had connected with him prior to leaving the college, and he had supported me through college. But when I got back, Mr. McDonald, if you all know Mr. McDonald, was one of those people that he would breathe life into folks. And he will have you thinking you can do more than what you thought you could do, and just keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. And so Mr. McDonald pushed me, gave me positions, put me in positions where I was exposed to, leading, talking to youth, getting involved, good with ideals. And then Mrs. Hazel Thomas. Now, I know y'all know Mrs. Thomas. Mrs. Thomas was one of those people that she didn't know the word no. You cannot tell her no. I got exposed to Mrs. Thomas through working with the Eastport Neighborhood Group. And so I went to these meetings. I was the youngest person there, so I often got told what to do and didn't ask too many questions. But, what's inspiring Ms. Thomas is that she always connected the dots. She know where to tell you to go, how to do it, and she send you off. When I got home from college, there was a young kid that lived across the street from me. They got hit by a car. I live by the water tower, so the park is there. And at those days, the baseball diamonds would congest. Parking would be just crazy. So we had a young kid that got hit by a car. And so I'm telling Ms. Thomas about this. And, next thing I know, I tell her what I want to do, and she kind of tell me what I need to do, and then, made some directions for me. And then next, we had some signs out there that says, slow down, 20 miles per hour. So it was, those, two people who kind of, when I got back, kind of inspired me to get involved. So as I sit here today, I thought it was important to give key points of unifying the community. I think it's important as we continue to, move forward, that we continue to work together. And again, I know we're going to have some differences. We're not always going to agree on everything. But again, I think it's important for us to try to find that common ground. And I think the common ground is not only just about us, but it's about our community. It's about our kids. It's about our education system. It's about our police department. It's about, our services and our leaders in the community. And I think it's appropriate that, these words that I gave today are suiting for what we have to do. As being a police officer for 25 years, I can tell you my greatest accomplishments have been working in the community. It hasn't been always about how many arrests I made, how many case reports I made, and those things. It's been about those connections with you all that have allowed me to get to this position and allow me to push forward. The community connections that I have made and that are lasting are, those key points that have not only allowed me to get here, but have allowed me to learn what I needed to do to make sure that I continue to push forward and lead in the right direction. So you give yourself all a round of applause, and I thank you all for your time. Thank you.
All right, let's give him another round of applause. So we had a couple of things. So we talk about building relationships, and Hazel Thomas, she was one of those people for me as well. And I think about Hazel, I spoke to Hazel just about every day. She was like a mentor in the sense of connecting you on things you need to do. So I would go over there. Luckily, I would have to cancel meetings. I would go to her house, bring her some coffee, sit at her little counter. She'd smoke a cigarette, and then 3 hours would pass. And I would be like, I better go to work. But she was that dynamic, and just talking through problems with her was awesome. But it talks about building, one of the first points was building relationships. Just about every position or opportunity I had was because of a relationship. I tell my kids that it's really about building those relationships that will allow you, number one, if someone's in need, how to connect them, but also for yourself. I think every piece and every step of my life was impacted by someone that I met, or a teacher, or someone. I look back at school. I happened to go to an alumni, picnic, and had no idea on how I was going to get to school. Didn't have a car, never stepped foot on campus, called someone. They called a family to pick me up and take me to school, 4 hours away. Their kid was going to school. And I tell people, you never know who that person is next to you that might be able to help you later on in life. So treat people fairly, treat them with dignity and respect, period. That's how we should be operating, and that's what Dr. King represents. And we talk about unity. Unity is not about words, it's really about action. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do next? This microphone is getting on my nerves. What are we gonna do next, right? So this is a call to action for all of us to make sure that as we leave this place, that we don't let the words fall on deaf ears, but what is the action you're gonna take next? One of the other things that Dr. King said, and I wanna make sure I say this, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? What are you doing for others? I feel like I embody my great-grandmother's spirit. Her name was Merlo Cole. Lakeland is the Lakeland Triangle is where my family on my dad's side migrated from Arkansas. And every single person in our family stayed in that homestead at one point or another, moving from the South. And so people who are transient, when we lived in California, everybody from Michigan City who moved to California that was black lived in our house at one point or another. So when I moved back to Michigan City, as people move back to Michigan City, where do they live? They live with us. And that's kind of been the thing. My parents did the same thing. I've kind of done the same thing. So family, we have these extended families that, if I had a friend, I had friends that lived with us in high school who couldn't stay at home. We were always at home. That's what community, it talks about, it takes a village. That's what a village is. That's what community is. So I hope you all take those things to heart. Again, I would like to thank all of you for coming today. I would like to thank our sponsors, our presenting sponsor, NIPSCO, Katie Eaton, LaPorte County CVB, P&W for hosting this wonderful event again, the Unity Foundation, Sinai Temple, and our Michigan City Chamber. Again, your voice matters. It matters. It really does. We want to continue this dialogue at the Hope program today, 11:30 a.m. Oh, y'all better be, I messed that up. And Dr. Wendell McCollum is going to be the keynote speaker, our school superintendent for Michigan City Area Schools. And the theme is protest into policy. Again, we're in a long session with the State House this year. And I'm going to tell you what's on the ballot on this year is education. Education, it really is. And I want everybody to know policy is important for our everyday lives. And so I want people to pay attention. We're going to have 8 community forums this year in Michigan City. We want to hear from you. This year is a year about really hearing from the community and how we move things forward. So again, I thank all of you for being here. We're going to end with Lift Every Voice and Sing. Our choir couldn't be here this morning that was supposed to perform it, but we want to make sure that we do this and that we pay homage to, our ancestors and making sure we end on a great note. So if everybody could stand. And I'm going to turn the mic off because I can't hold it to him. Lift every voice and sing to the earth and with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun, your new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening pride, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with the steady beat our weary feet come to the place for which our parents sighed. We have come over a way with the tears have been watered. We have come treading on path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright sun is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy mind led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Bless God. Thank you all for coming today. As you leave here, I know that's the long version, but again, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you at the next event.